Alright, it's officially that time of the year again. The first day of the World Junior Championships has just wrapped up, and since the Canucks don't play until Saturday, I wanted to give a couple of updates. Maybe I'll continue this series on as the World Junior Championships progress. We'll have to see. Today, though, had some pretty interesting games and some pretty interesting stories. I wanted to start off by talking about possibly my headline for today's video, a player that the Vancouver Canucks actually passed up on in the 2023 NHL Draft. The Canucks had the 11th pick where they took Tom Willander, who also played in this game, and he played quite well, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Axel Sandin Pellikka, who was taken a few picks later by the Detroit Red Wings, and they might have themselves literally the most dominant two-way player in this entire tournament. He is a defenseman, and he got a hat-trick today. 3 really nice goals as he led Sweden on to beat the Slovakian national team by a final score of 5-2. Funnily enough, the pick that the Red Wings used to draft Pellikka was previously owned by the Vancouver Canucks, but then the Canucks used that pick in a package to trade for Filip Hronek. And, you know, I'm hearing a lot of people online talk about how this was a fumble and how the Canucks not only should have taken Pellikka over Willander, but how they shouldn't have made that trade in the first place to lose that first-round pick. But as much as I think that Axel Sandin Pellikka will actually be a good player in the NHL, I do still think that the Vancouver Canucks made the right move, and my reasoning starts with understanding the type of player that Pellikka actually is. He's an undersized, shifty defenseman, a good skater that can quarterback a power play. That sounds a lot like something that the Vancouver Canucks already have. And although I'm sure it wouldn't hurt at all to have 2 players that are like that, the issue with putting a guy like Pellikka on the Canucks is that you just wouldn't really be able to utilize him to his fullest potential because he's always going to be playing underneath Quinn Hughes. I feel like taking Willander was a perfectly good choice made by Alvin because you get a guy that's 6'1", a right-shot defenseman that's a physical, stable defender that can move the puck and make plays as well on the offensive side. Sure, Pellikka might be a flashier player right now, but in terms of what the Canucks need, I feel like Willander fits the build almost perfectly. And I'll end by saying, if you have Pellikka on your team, you don't have Hronek, a player that complements Quinn Hughes perfectly, and you're going to get his best years in the Vancouver Canucks window of contention, which is right now for the next 4 to 5 years. And again, not to take anything away from Pellikka, I think that the Red Wings have themselves probably the best player in the tournament. I've already said that. But to the Canucks fans that are worried about losing out on a player like this, I want to assure you that it will be okay. Anyways, that's all for that monologue. I wanted to give a quick recap on the rest of the games that were played as well today. The US team took down the German team by a final score of 10-4. If I were to highlight one player in this game, it would easily be Cole Hutson. The guy looks like the real deal, just like his brother, if not better. He had 5 assists, he was a +7. He was honestly all over the ice. He could have had himself a couple more points, but his teammates couldn't finish, and he got robbed in a couple of good chances. But overall, I was very impressed by him. And, you know, the German team, they did give up 10 goals, but at the same time, they scored 4, so if they can tighten it up defensively a little bit, maybe they'll have a better shot against some of these stronger teams. The next game was Czechia versus Switzerland. Czechia won it 5-1, and you know what? I have to say, Czechia is a very underrated nation. They could be a team to watch. They always fly under the radar, and the past 2 years they've actually medaled, getting bronze and silver, so maybe this could be their year. They have guys like Edward Schale that are leading the team. We'll see. Finally, though, you had Canada take on Finland, and Canada won it pretty easily. I was pretty disappointed by Finland's showing. They didn't really help out their goalie that much. He had to make a couple of key stops, but overall, their effort just wasn't really there. I'm expecting them to be a lot better in the games to come. But yeah, that was it for day 1 of the 2024-25 World Junior Championships. If you want me to continue this series, let me know in the comments. And give me your prediction for question of the day of who you think is going to win this tournament when it's all said and done. Anyway, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all. Peace out and take care.